What happened to the black sheep of your family? My brother Tristan vanished from our family when I was 15. He was 19. Everyone called him the black sheep. It's been 8 years and I still think about it every day. I always looked up to Tristan growing up. He was the only one who ever really saw me. My parents were always working, and he'd help me with homework, make me food, basically raised me. But around the time I turned 13, everything changed. He started fighting with our parents constantly. They'd scream behind closed doors. He became withdrawn, angry, started failing classes. Mom and dad said he was hanging with the wrong crowd, maybe doing drugs. He moved out right after graduation and barely kept in touch. Would text me sometimes, but it was weird and distant. Then one Thanksgiving he showed up and it was like a bomb went off. There was this massive fight. I still remember my dad's face turning this scary shade of red, yelling, "You ungrateful little shot after everything we've done for you." Mom was crying. Tristan just stood there, looked at me for a second with this expression I couldn't read, then walked out. That was the last time any of us saw him. My parents told everyone he'd gotten into drugs, couldn't handle adult responsibilities, typical failure to launch stuff. They acted sad about it, but also like, we tried everything, what can you do? Whenever anyone asked. It became this family shame thing we never discussed. I tried finding him online for years, but he deleted all social media, sent texts that never got responses. Eventually, I just accepted what everyone said. Tristan was the screw-up who abandoned us. Fast forward to 3 months ago. I was helping my mom clean out the garage and found this old box of his stuff. Some high school notebooks, old t-shirts, random teenager junk they'd packed away. But there was this worn notebook that caught my eye. It was full of these little notes, almost like a journal, but not really. Mostly thoughts about taking care of me. Stuff like, Elsie aced her math test, helped her study all week. Or, need to make sure Elsie has lunch money tomorrow. It hit me how much he'd actually done for me. There was also this weird entry from right before everything went bad. It just said, don't know what to do, can't let Elsie find out. Nothing else. I started thinking about everything differently. Like, why did our parents suddenly get all these work trips when I was around 12, 13? Why did Tristan suddenly change right around then? Why did he always make sure to be home when I got back from school? I started asking questions. Subtle ones at first. Mom would get this tight look on her face. Dad would change the subject. When I pressed harder, they'd say stuff like, why are you bringing up ancient history? Or, you know how troubled he was. Then I ran into my cousin Seth at this coffee shop. We got talking and I mentioned Tristan. He got all uncomfortable. Said something about how he wished the family had handled things differently. When I pushed, he just said, it wasn't my place to get involved back then. But then he slipped and said, it wasn't fair what your parents did to him. I literally couldn't sleep after that. What did my parents do to him? All these memories started coming back. How Tristan would stand in the doorway when dad came home late. How he'd insist on driving me to and from friends' houses instead of letting dad do it. How he'd sometimes check on me at night. I drove to my Uncle Howard's house. He's always been the straight shooter in the family. I asked him point blank what happened with Tristan. Howard told me that Tristan had discovered our dad had been secretly filming underage girls, including my friends when they came over for sleepovers. Tristan had found hidden cameras in the bathroom and my bedroom when he was looking for a charger one day. He confronted our parents. Mom didn't believe it at first, then did, but decided to handle it privately to avoid scandal. Their solution? Dad would get help quietly, and no one would know. Tristan was disgusted and threatened to go to the police. That's when they gave him an ultimatum. Keep quiet or they'd make sure he never saw me again. Would lose college funding. Everything. He refused to stay silent about something so dangerous. They started spreading rumors about him being troubled, on drugs, mentally unstable. So if he ever said anything, no one would believe him. The final straw was when Tristan realized dad was still doing it despite promises to stop. That Thanksgiving blow-up? Tristan had found new evidence and confronted them again. He left that day and went straight to the police, but my parents had connections and money. Nothing ever came of it. I confronted my parents. They denied everything at first, then tried to minimize it, then finally admitted it but said they'd handled it. And Tristan had overreacted. They actually expected me to understand their side. I packed a bag and left.